What is up, everyone? Today I'm showcasing Pawmot in the Open Ultra League. This thing is so much fun. It's running Spark, Wild Charge and Close Combat, two extremely hard-hitting charge moves that also debuff your own defense, which is something that Pawmot doesn't have a lot of to begin with. So it's just a pure glass cannon that has the ability to nearly one-shot a lot of Pokemon. It does have a lot of weaknesses though. It's pretty difficult to build a solid squad around. In the end, I ended up settling for a Golisopod Tapu Fini backline, which actually ended up working quite well. I went pretty positive with this line, 9-6, so not too bad, but not really a line I recommend, but it was a lot of fun. We're just gonna head right into these battles, starting off with a Trevenant lead, which is just absolutely awful for me, as it beats both my Pawmot and Tapu Fini pretty hard. So I'm forced to stay in, just throw a charge move with my Pawmot, which they end up shielding. That's really good for me, because with a shield advantage, Golisopod might be able to put in work in the back. At this point, I'm just going to let my Pawmot go. Look at how much damage those Shadow Claws have done already, by the way. Yeah, Pawmot is very, very squishy. In this battle, I'm still running X-Scissor on Golisopod, by the way. In the first battles, I was running that moveset, but after this first set, I decided Aerial Ace was probably the way to go. Mainly to hit grass types a little harder and Giratinas, which Pawmot, of course, struggles with very badly. Out comes Golisopod. I'm just going to throw an X-Scissor, then bring in my Tapu Fini. At this point, Golisopod is basically my win con. I really need to keep it pretty healthy to take out the Trevenant later. So I decide I switch in my Tapu Fini here, so I can take the charge moves from Golisopod a little easier. This Golisopod is running Aerial Ace, so it's the neutral move. I can take him pretty easily though. Gonna throw my Surfer right before they get to another Aerial Ace. This should knock out. Actually doesn't, but luckily one Water Gun does, so they don't get to another Aerial Ace. Now they're gonna bring in a Trevenant again, I'm pretty sure, and I think I'm able to outpace to a Moonblast. So I'm just gonna throw it immediately, but they end up catching it on Swampert. Nice catch, but this is super fine with me, as I'd rather... Actually, it doesn't really matter for me. Golisopod does fine against Swampert as well, but throwing this Moonblast into the Swampert was okay too, because now I can use my Golisopod to mainly take out the Trevenant. Of course, it's still going to have to do a little work versus Swampert as well, but I should be pretty fine here. Throw my X-Scissor right before they get to the Hydro. If they let this go, that's super fine with me, because I think I'm able to Shadow Claw down the Trevenant. But these Shadow Claws are actually doing less than I was expecting, so I'm kind of worried they're going to get the two moves here. Gonna no-shoot the first one, expecting Seed Bomb, and it was Seed Bomb, so I take that, and now I'm able to get the two X-Scissors, and this will definitely knock out the Trevenant, well, once they use my shield. First shield used, throw another X-Scissor, and that's how you beat Trevenant lead with this team. I don't think I could do that again, to be honest, if I face another Trevenant lead, but, you know, just beating the one I saw felt very, very nice. All right, next game. Oh, this is a good one. Talonflame lead. Opponent switches out into Registeel. This is a very, I would say, very nice matchup for Pawmot, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good. The outpace to the close combats. I'm going to shield this. I'm definitely expecting it to throw Zap Cannon, which I would survive, but I don't want to risk it being a Focus Blast, so I shield it up. I'm very lucky and I don't get debuffed, so this next close combat will still do a lot of damage, which I'm going to throw right now. I think, unfortunately, they're going to shoot up. Yeah, they do. And now I'm just going to shoot up their move again. Again, I'm expecting Zap Cannon here, but at this point, since I'm quad debuffed, it would definitely look bad, so I have to shield. Now I'm going to overfarm. I'm going to throw it 4. Pretty weird timing, but they catch it on Giratina, which is just a huge catch. I was going to overfarm here, like throw a couple more Sparks, but they have Dragon Breath, and just one Dragon Breath would have taken a bunch of health from my quad debuffed Pawmot, so I decided it would be better just to switch into Golisopod. Not a great matchup here. Actually, I should have maybe brought in Tapu, just to Moonblast it. Oh, this is fine, I guess. This is fine. They have Talonflame, and versus Talonflame, Tapu is much better, so this actually makes a little sense. I can get to another Aerial Ace. This is where Aerial Ace really helps over X-Scissor, because I'm actually able to just barely win out this matchup, which is really good. They're going to bring in Talonflame here. They have like two Incinerators worth of energy here, so I don't think my Pawmot can pace, so I'll bring in Fini. Still kind of worried about the Registeel though. I think the Registeel can get to a move versus Pawmot if they switch it in now. So if they switch in the Registeel now, I'm just going to stay in with Tapu. I don't even throw my move, which I think is kind of a mistake. But it's fine. Actually, it doesn't really matter, because even if I throw the Surf, I'm not going to be able to farm out Pawmot. I was going to bring in Pawmot, overfarm as much as possible. Once they've thrown Zap, you can throw 5 more Sparks before they get to a Focus. If you throw 6, they might actually get there in the middle. So throw after 5. And now Out comes Talonflame. I should be able to get there before that move. And I can. And we wild charge the Talonflame. And that's a very nice Pawmot sweep right there. GG. Okay, next match. Alolan Sandslash. Not the greatest matchup, as Alolan Sandslash does outpace you to the Durant. So I'm going to try to catch one onto my Golisopod. But now out comes Charizard. Going to bait this with the X-Scissor. Not too bad of a matchup here for Pod. Can get a shield here usually. And now they're going to have to throw before my liquidation. They actually throw on CMP. Very nice timing by my opponent there. There's a Dragon Claw survive, so I'm going to no shield. But it's a Blast Burn. Very well played by my opponent there, going for a Blast Burn, knowing that Dragon Claw likely wouldn't knock out. No, it was a little overkill. Just going to farm this all the way down with Tapu now. Going to let this go. Shadow Blast Burn does hurt, but I just want to save shields for Pawmot at this point. Tapu, some Moonblast Sword now. Might be able to use that. Whatever comes in next. Which is... Ooh, yeah, the Alolan Sandslash. Yeah, I definitely want to surf that. This is not ideal, because... Well, actually, after that surf, they are like in spark range, probably. So I can no shield and probably spark down this A-Slash. That's definitely the play. Yeah, I do that. I could have thrown the surf, but I figured I should have, actually. Because Pawmot is better, comes better the more shields are down. So using a shield there to get their shield, or to keep my Tapu alive at least, to maybe get a shield from whatever's in the back, would have been quite nice. I don't think it would have ended up mattering, though, because Virizion is pretty bad for my Pawmot Tapu Fini core. Anyway, did you see that close combat? That was some crazy damage onto a very bulky Virizion. Just a neutral move, but close combat combined with Pawmot's attack stat is just pretty insane. Anyway, we are able to fire off another close combat. This will knock out the Virizion, but now, yeah, the A-Slash still has a move. And even if it hadn't had a move, I would have never survived more than 2 Shadow Claws. So the game was definitely over there. GG's. Next match, Pod in the lead. Now, this is where we want to see it. Kind of don't want to wild charge immediately. So I end up letting this move go, I think. Or do I shield? Yeah, Pawmot is very squishy, so I shield it up. Then I should probably wild charge immediately. I don't know. I shoot this up. Yeah, or no, shoot this. Because I know this is definitely just an aerial ace and I can take it very easily. Now I wild charge once I'm at 2 and I end up catching on Registeel, which is really bad for me because I would much rather throw close combat here. And my Pawmot's already so low. And these lock-ons are actually doing some damage, but not as much as I was expecting to. So if I want to, I can probably throw a couple more close combats here. Throw one, and they actually end up letting it go. So Registeel goes down. What do they bring in now? I don't think they bring in Pod, or they bring in Charizard to farm me down. One-way attack did like 1,000,000 damage, but luckily I was still able to get to the wild charge. They shoot it up, and now I have Tapu for the Zard, and this is looking pretty good. They still have the lead alive, but the Pod should be pretty easy to deal with if I'm using my own Pod. And Tapu can take care of the Zard, of course. Yeah, out comes their Pod. Bring in my own Pod. Can easily tank these moves. Aerial Ace does do a decent chunk of damage, but not enough to warrant a shield here. At this point, I'm very fine with just letting my own Pod go. Yeah, I don't even throw a move, because I don't want the Zard to get more farm. I don't think I have any lose con here, but if there is any chance I lose this, it's when I let the Zard farm down my Pod and get to like double Blast Burn on my Fini. And to prevent that from happening, I decide to just let Pod go, farm their Pod down with Fini, and then farm down their Zard. GG. Ooh, Scanadurge lead. I love this Pokemon. Pawmot just barely outpaces to the move here, so I go for the Wild Charge. Once I get it, this should probably grab a shield, and it does. Then I switch it to Pod, as I do have 2 better answers to Scanadurge in the back. I'm going to shield this, as it's definitely a Shadow Ball, but maybe this was a mistake. Generally, Pod... I don't know, maybe I should have saved shield advantage, but seeing as it's Skuntank in the back, I think I made a fine choice there, because Pod can definitely still put in some work here with the health I do have. Do get a defense drop on the first crunch, which is not ideal, but fine, go for the liquidation. Hopefully get the defense drop, but it doesn't drop the defense. So that means this second one won't knock out, I think. Might actually. If it doesn't, that's kind of fine, because then I can probably farm down with something. The only has a crunch now, so I'm bringing Tapu. Tapu can take the crunch a little easier than Pawmot can. So I tank it here. And then, what do they bring in now? A little bit of energy on Tapu. Oh, it's Greninja. This is such an awkward matchup for Tapu, I've realized. Because it takes so many water guns to get to Moonblast. And the water guns really aren't hitting that hard. And they are hitting for decent damage with the Hydro Cannons, actually. I go straight for Moonblast here. Honestly, a mistake. I should have just gone for Surf. Surf would have already put him in a range. Or I could have likely farmed out with Pawmot. How I do this? Yeah, I played this game all wrong. Honestly, it was tough. I felt like my Tapu was just gonna go down there. Yeah, actually, what I thought here was that Pawmot wasn't gonna be able to take out the Skeledirge. Skeledirge still has a decent amount of health, and I didn't think that the Wild Charge would be enough to knock him out. But looking at the health it has now, it definitely would have been. So what I should have done is just let the Greninja take out my Tapu, farm down the Greninja with Pawmot using a shield, and then Wild Charge the Skeledirge. And I think I would have won this game, as long as the Wild Charge knocks out this Crocodile. So definitely misplayed this. But still, fine game. GG's to my opponent there. Alright, next match. We see another Alolan Sandslash in the lead. Honestly, don't think I should be playing it the way I do. I think next time I face Alolan Sandslash in the lead versus my Pawmot, I will instantly switch into Golisopod, because allowing them to get all this energy for switching out can be kind of painful. This time though, luckily it pays off for me, because they actually end up throwing most of their energy into my Golisopod. Clearly, they're not that strong versus it. Throw 2 Ice Punches and then switch into their own pod. I think their play made sense there, because now I'm in a range where a single move from their pod will take me out, and they guarantee switch advantage. I'll throw a second Aerial Ace. This will put him in the red health. If I want to, I can probably double shield here and farm down, get switch advantage, but it's not really important. I have 2 Pokemon that do fine versus Alolan Sandslash, so opt to just let that move go, farm down the Golisopod with Pawmot, and close combat, whatever comes in. Actually, Wild Charge the Toxicroak. This will probably one-shot if they let it go, because Toxicroaks are also quite squishy, so they're definitely shielding us. Then I go for another one. This should also take a shield, and I'm just going to instant switch into Tapu. Still not very comfortable though. Toxicroak can definitely take a Surf and get to Mud Bomb plus Touch Bomb. So yeah, they're going to be able to take 2 shields here. Get to the first Mud Bomb, which is shield up. Bad shield by me, but it does a 50-50 call. This time I'm definitely expecting Sludge Bomb, so I'm shielding it. After this, the energy dry, and they need like 6 more counters for that Mud Bomb. Switching in A-Slash now. I am not too aware of A-Slash counts right now, but I do know that if I get like 4 extra water guns here, I should be able, or actually I only need 3 extra water guns. If I get 3 extra water guns, I should be able to outpace the Toxicroak. Because I think that the Mud Bomb only takes 6 more counters now. So I need to get there in 5.5 counters, 11 water guns, and I did get there in 11 here, and this should knock out the Toxicroak now. GG! And it does. Nice. Okay. Giratina lead is absolutely awful for Pawmot, so I switch into my Golisopod, which is a fine matchup here. Shadow Claws definitely adding up. Aerial Waste doesn't do too much, but they definitely stack up too. I'm gonna throw a move here for this Ancient Power. That's kind of trouble. Definitely makes this matchup a little worse for a pod, and it does end up being Ancient Power, and they get that boost. So this is absolute worst case scenario. I don't want to use a shield on my pod, so I'm just going to go for Liquidation here, as it's the move that does the most raw damage. And it also has a chance to drop the opponent's defense, which it does. That's very nice. Now only Giratina's attack is boosted, because we just neutralized its defense stat. Just going to let pod go. Go into Tapu here. Take the first Ancient Power. Don't think Surf would have knocked out yet, so I didn't throw it. And now I'm going to miscount. I'm actually going to be able to throw another Ancient Power into my Tapu, which is just a big misplay. You really should have thrown the Surf there. This brings me into the red. And I gotta throw my Surf pretty early. I can't even overfarm or I can't farm down this Giratina, because they still have so much health. Well, they don't have so much health, but they have enough to where I couldn't farm down. Out comes Poliwrath now. Oh man. Seems like they're very weak against Tapu, so not shielding that, or not throwing the Surfer for the second Ancient Power, probably is very costly. If I had more health on Tapu, I would have been able to play more into the Poliwrath. Still, I got to shoot with the Moonblast there, and now I just gotta hope Pawmot can sweep this game. Really hope it's like Jellicent in the back, something with low fast move pressure. Even Jellicent, though, will probably farm me down after this Wild Charge, because my defense is just so low. Throw a move here. Again, I got a shield. My defense now dropped. Even if it's Power or Punch, I get knocked out. Just Scald. Out comes Obstagoon, and there's just too much fast move pressure for little Pawmot to deal with. I will nuke this Obstagoon, but the Poliwrath will take me out. Can Tapu still do something? No, it can't, because I didn't even tap. But yeah, it was over. GG's. Alright, Charizard lead. This is what you like to see. These sparks are really adding up here. I think Pawmot would have been better with the previous spark before it got nerfed, buffed. I don't know what happened with Spark, honestly. It now gains less energy but does more damage. I think more energy gain would have been nice for Pawmot. Like Pawmot with Thundershock I think would be pretty nice. But the Spark is definitely coming in clutch sometimes to farm Pokemon down, like the Charizard just now. Anyway, they actually switched out into Obstagoon, which I was able to close combat. And then another opponent just core broke about Pawmot, which I just love to see. Anyway, I could have stayed in with Pawmot there, but I have a way better answer to Obstagoon in Tapu Fini in the back. I'll bring it in. I was a bit afraid we were going to go for the Gunk Shot there, but Tapu still survives it, so no shielded. And it ends up being Night Slashes, so super fine there. I'm going to go for the Surf at this point. I can just Surf, farm down, or probably take another Night Slash, but that's fine with me. It doesn't knock me out. Will put me in the red though, but deep into the red. But even if the Charizard comes back in, I can double Surf it before it can farm me down. So that's ideal. If anything else comes in, I have a bunch of energy too. So whatever happens, I'm fine. And I end up bringing in Charizard, let the first Surf go, get knocked out, in comes Trevenant. This is amazing. I get the Trevenant exactly where I want it on the Galissa pod. Start Shadow Clawing and they realize it's over and they concede the match. That was it for today's video. As you could see, Pawmot is a very squishy Pokemon, but a lot of fun. I don't recommend it to climb any points though. Anyway, hope you enjoyed today's video. See you in the next one. Good luck with your battles, trainers.